Okay, midfield. Midfield defending, especially transitioning from attack to defense. So right now, our right midfielder has the ball. Okay, so let's look at this setup. So here's our back four. This player should be pushed up to kind of support this, and we would look something like that. Back four. Defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder, left midfielder, right midfielder, striker, shadow striker. Or if you want, you can call these two forwards or two strikers. I call this a striker and this a shadow player. This is the attacking midfielder. This is the holding midfielder or a D-mid. Left, right. Okay. This player tries to make a pass here, but it gets fumbled and it goes here. Okay. Now we're going to transition to defending. If the blue team is even technically they're about the same level as we are, then we can kind of grab our position, change our get our shape up. So this player, the nearest player to the player on the opponent's team with the ball, our nearest player goes to press. And then we get our shape based on pressure on the ball. The back line becomes flat. So this player supporting would drop back. The boss of the backs would say hold because we have pressure on the ball. And then the rest of the defense, midfield, needs to find the near post, which in this case, ball is on that side of the field if you had a line down the middle. So the near post is here. So this player would be running directly at the near post and trying to figure out where do I need to fit in. Here's the holding midfielder, the defensive midfielder. So we want a flat four from our midfield, just like our backs. So this player is running directly at the near post and then pinches in. And the same with this player drops back. This player goes to the near post and then slides over. So our starting defensive position is flat back four, midfield is flat, pressure on the ball. Okay, by that time they've done something. Say they play the ball out here. So they play the ball out here and our midfield slides over just like the backs, and we get our hockey stick. So we have pressure on the ball. Again, we're showing in. We don't want to show out. We want to show in to where the helpers are. And the back four can kind of stay flat, but it's really better if the back four is the same shape as the midfield four. So you've got the hockey stick here, and you've got the hockey stick here. That's the better one. You can get away with staying flat often, but it's better if you're here. Okay, so if we have pressure on the ball and we're in our shape, we've got our shape, this player is responsible for anything out here from their midfield. So if this is their forward, their striker, our left back would be responsible for that. Yeah? And then this player would have this player, or maybe this player would have this player. This player's got that player. And midfield has here. And if we have pressure on the ball and we're containing it, then if the forward has time, they go and double. And when the forward goes to double, they're trying to win the ball. They're not trying to contain. They're not trying to just stop, delay. They're not doing that. They're going for the ball. So the idea is you transition from this wide and sort of out of shape looking midfield, 1, 2, 3, 4, to find the near post, make a run directly at it, and find your D mid. And you want to be level with the D mid. You want to be about 10 to 15 yards in front of the back line. This is 10 yards. From the center to the edge of that circle, that's 10 yards. So the D mid may be here. The boss of the backs determines the back line, and everything in front of that is determined by where the boss sets up the back line. So if the boss sets up here, the back line is here. The midfield should be 10 to 15 in front of that and in a straight line. So you got to get back in. If the team that we're playing is much better than us, we just drop off. When they get the ball, our nearest player goes to the ball and tries to slow it down, and everybody else gets your shape. Wherever the boss determines is the line for the backs, 15 yards in front is the line for the midfield. And we go from there. Basically, we let them bring the ball to us. With this player having zonal, same as the back. Still zone, playing flat 4. This player has this quarter. 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 And then that transition is not happening. We don't get back. So recovery run means you turn, you find the near post. If the ball is on this side of the field, this is the near post. If the ball is over here, this is the near post. If the ball gets played up to here and you're a midfielder and these backs are dropping off, then you've got to find the near post and run directly at it until you get level with the ball, and then you have to determine where do you fit in. Well, there's no pressure on the ball, so you got to go press. So the order of defending is pressure, cover, balance. So we want pressure. Now this player is making a run directly at the near post, gets level with the ball, says, well, we have pressure, but we don't have cover. So go in and cover. Be the cover player. 45-degree angle behind the player pressing. The player pressing needs to be on the outside to show in to the cover player. If this player is very late getting back, this player is making a run at the near post. Sees pressure but no cover. Jump in and be the cover player. Same with this player. Making a run directly at the near post. Where do I fit in? I got pressure, I got cover, but I don't have that balance player. So I go in here. Maybe because this player is coming back, this player should be the back line should be over here. They have slid over, but maybe one of these backs has pushed up here, and this has gone over here, and this has gone over here, and now you have to determine, well, do I go in here to balance out the midfield, or do I balance out the backs? Because a back came up to take a midfielder spot. It all has to be working together with 4 in the back, 4 in the midfield. We don't get that midfield dropping off. Yeah. And then it's critical if you can get to it, where if you have pressure on the ball and you really contain well and the player on the ball has nowhere to go with it, a forward should be coming to double. And the same thing is true if this was to be here and a back is pressure on the ball and we've got our cover and our balance, we look good, we got our hockey stick, then a midfielder can go and double and try to win the ball. Any questions? You got to ask. Transitioning in midfield isn't happening. And it's fairly easy to do. You just have to do it. On a goal kick, when we're defending a goal kick, so ball's here, keeper's going to take that, and we want our midfield to win the ball. We want our midfield flat, and we want it to come down where our midfield is, not where our backs are. So if this early in the game, we're going to wait and see where that ball goes.